American convoy doing this far behind enemy lines. Go on.
Sergeant Troy. And you must be Sergeant Moffat. Welcome. خذ البندية. Please don't worry about them. They'll be taken care of properly. You're all my guests, but you two are traveling first class. Well, it's not much, but I call it home. It's been a long, hot day, gentlemen. I think refreshments are in order. Well, let me see. For Sergeant Troy, an icy cold glass of beer. dash of salt. For Sergeant Moffat, a chibli made with equal parts of rum, lime juice, and whiskey. For me, milk for the old ulcer. Cheers.
You seem to know a lot about us, Mr.
Cunningham. Ned to my friends. If I do, it's because to date your rat patrol has cost me, conservatively speaking, over $500,000. That's a lot of money.
Man, what are you talking about?
On August 11th, a munitions convoy almost crossed the bridge to Mess 1. You blew it up.
3 trucks, 2 jury half-tracks.
A tank and a weapons carrier. That convoy was mine.
And whose were the soldiers?
Also mine. Dressed as Germans. On September 4th, the fuel depot at El Gahir.
Yours too, huh?
On September 27th, the shipment of... points made. But to coin a phrase, this desert simply isn't big enough for the both of us.
You know something, Moffat? Maybe there's worse than the Jerry's. What do you think of an American who sells ammo to him to blast his own countrymen? Simple curiosity, Cunningham. How does someone become your special kind of creep?
Practice. If you're really interested. All right, gentlemen, step right this way. This is what we might call Exhibit A. United States Army Air Force flying jacket. Circa November 1942. Belonging to one Lieutenant Edwin Ned Cunningham. 14 missions over North Africa. Shot down 3 times. Purple Heart. Decorated for bravery. You sure I'm not boring you?
Hardly.
Anything but.
Fine. Now we have Exhibit B. One pigskin wallet, also belonging to the aforesaid Lieutenant Edwin Ned Cunningham. Notice this small hole. It was caused by a Spandau machine gun bullet. At the time of impact, the wallet happened to be in Lieutenant Cunningham's left shirt pocket. When instead of going right through his heart, that bullet hit money.
And that's when Mommy's little boy Ned saw the light. That the life of a war hero wasn't for him. And just like that, quick as you could say Adolf Hitler, from a clean living, upright citizen, he turned into a traitor. End of story. Fade out.
So that's all you are. Traitor.
A defector, please.
Hello. You must be Ned's new partners. I'm Fed. Oh, has Mommy jumped the gun again? Well, you just go right ahead. Don't pay any attention to me. Go right ahead. Now, you must tell him about your medals, Ned. He always skips the best part.
If Mommy doesn't stop, she'll go to bed without her supper.
Well, it's true now. And not everybody can do what you did. Crash land your own plane with your best buddy aboard in order to sell them both to the Jerrys.
Don't make me tell you twice.
I'm enjoying myself. Besides, you like me to entertain your friends, don't you?
Gentlemen, you're not drinking.
This is all very entertaining, Mr. Cunningham, but surely not why you brought us here.
What's the pitch?
Oh, I'll tell you what the pitch is. You are muscling in on his territory. You see?
Faye does have a certain flair for the vernacular. What she means is this. The Rat Patrol has been making me poorer without making itself 1 cent richer. I want to change that. I want to make you rich.
Not interested.
Just a moment, Troy. Let's hear him out.
Thank you, Sergeant Moffat. Sergeant Troy, give me credit for one thing. I'm not simple-minded. Someday this war will be over, and you're going to have to go home. Where will you be then? Kids who are too young for the draft will be holding down your jobs. The girls you knew will be married and have families. I think you'll find there's very little call for middle-aged commandos. What will you do then? Big hero with a chest full of medals. I'll tell you. You'll stand in line at the neighborhood pawn shop, waiting to trade those medals in on a $3 spree.
I suppose you have an alternative.
Why spoil a perfect day? Ahmed, champagne, well chilled.
Wait, just hold it a minute. We haven't said yes.
But you're not saying no.
There are two others to consider.
I'm sure you can handle Mr. Pettigrew and Mr. Hitchcock.
All right, fine. But I'd still like to get a look at your operation.
That is, if Mr. Cunningham doesn't...
Ned.
That is, if Ned doesn't mind.
Nothing could give me greater pleasure. Right this way, then. Mommy, you go see about making dinner. Make sure it's superb.
Anything you say, Nancy.
Unfortunately, you won't see very much. Most of my merchandise is stored in depots or caches, really, all within a radius of 100 miles.
The oil down here.
The shipment that you saw being loaded when we arrived is one of my biggest yet. 200 bazookas, a dozen 105 howitzers, 100,000 rounds of ammo.
Who is it for?
Friend of yours. Friend. That's right. He and his men will be here later to take delivery.
What friend?
German fellow. Name of Dietrich.
لا مؤاخذة حضرتك في راجل في الأوضة مستني عليك تحت.
طيب بيه. Please excuse me, business. Shouldn't take more than a minute.
Come on, let's go.
I don't like it. It's too easy. All right, let's go.
Gentlemen. They won't start without these. Oh, come on, Sergeant, eat something. Don't be such a bad loser. Mommy here slaved over a hot stove all afternoon to fix something extra special. And you won't even taste it. She'll be a fan. How about you, Sergeant Moffat? I should warn you. Those German prisoner of war camps are notorious for their rather slipshod cuisine. This may be the last decent meal you have for years. Assuming, of course, that the Germans lose the war and that you're liberated someday.
Ned has a wonderful way of making you feel right home, doesn't he?
Mommy, I'm only telling the gentleman to eat hearty.
Tomorrow you die.
Why, Faisy, I'm surprised and delighted at you. You haven't just been raiding the liquor cabinet, you've been raiding the library as well. You know, there was a time that Faisy couldn't even read. By the way, have I told you how I first met Mommy?
Ned,
Oh, come on. Why not? We still have a few minutes until Captain Dietrich arrives. I'm sure the gentleman would enjoy hearing our tender romantic saga. Wouldn't you, gentlemen? In that case, I'll tell you. Our story begins in Casablanca. Poor Faye was performing at the time, singing in one of the rather less exclusive nightclubs.
don't.
Unfortunately, Faisy had entered into a somewhat untidy arrangement with the management. Seems that, in addition to her duties as a songbird, she had an obligation to make the customers drink more than they should. Kid was good at it. So good, in fact, that the management was extremely reluctant to part with her services. Well, picture this scene, if you would. Little Arab and myself, bargaining and haggling away half the night over Faisy. And that's how I rescued Mommy. Poor Faye. Reading hasn't improved her manners.
You can forget about Dietrich. He's not coming out in this storm.
Speak of the devil. Greetings and welcome, Ibrahim.
May I pleasure, Kanihan? My daughter Tayora.
Worthy of such a father. This way, please. What brings you out on such a night as this, Ibrahim?
My enemies are many, Kanihan. My weapons few. I wish to buy what you call the half-track.
A half-track? But you haven't paid for the last shipment yet, Ibrahim.
Patience, Kanihan.
Miss Morgan, why do you put up with him? Why don't you pack up and leave?
Where would I go? This is the only game in town, baby. Besides, don't let appearances fool you. Deep down, Ned and I have a marvelous relationship. He loathes me, and I despise him. We're even.
Agreed. Mommy, I have a real nice surprise for you. People, I want you to meet Viola. This is Mommy's new little helper. Isn't that nice? Isn't that thoughtful of me? Oh, and another thing. Her daddy tells me that Soraya is a whiz at making my favorite dish. Eggs Benedict.
Sure, Ned, baby. Anything you say. Cry! Cry! Cry on Mommy's little helper's shoulder if you want to cry.
Hello.
Goodbye.
Well, I want to thank you.
Oh, it's nothing. Anytime. Anytime at all. I guess it was the only way. You think I'll give you life?
Yeah, yours. Listen, you've got a couple of good witnesses in your corner. I wouldn't worry much.
If I don't get off, will you come and visit me?
Yeah, and I'll bring a cake with a saw in the middle.
No eggs Benedict.
Promise. No eggs Benedict. Okay, Lieutenant. She's all yours.